Hi everyone, Ashley here for Scrap-A-Dab-A-Doo Crafts, and I am back with part 2 of our recipe swap albums. This is the very first album in the series. There are 4 total with a fantastic box, keepsake holder at the end, and all of the albums will pretty much be exactly like this. The brads and everything are pretty much going to stay the same. The pattern paper and the embellishments will change slightly. But we're working on part 2. Part 1, we made the absolutely fabulous album with all of its hinges ready to go. So in part 2, we're going to be putting on our pages and adhering them to their hinges and then embellishing this album. So if there are not any questions, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next part, which you will need to find a piece of paper that you would like to use as your wraparound piece of paper. As you can see here, there is a patterned cardstock that wraps around the back and the front of these hinges, and you're going to need 8 of those. So for this one, I have used a solid red paper. And these are going to end up being 3/4 of an inch wide by 6 inches tall. So let's go ahead and cut basically our 12 by 12 sheet in half at some direction. Now if you have directional paper that you're concerned about, you need to make sure that you're cutting it so you want it in the correct direction. And then next what we're going to do is go ahead and cut 8 that are 3/4 of an inch wide. So you're going to need 8 of these strips. And you're also, if you're inking, you're going to want to ink these as well. That's up to you. I'm not inking, so I don't need to ink them. But throughout the video, I have tried to remind you of your inking edges in part 1 to ink those edges. There was a couple parts, which I will review those parts right now. This covered pattern paper right here that we put down, you would want to ink that edge if you're inking, and then the same for this outside that covers the spine. If you're inking the edge of your album, that doesn't matter. You can get to that at any point. Once these are down, you can't. And the same goes for these. So you'll need 8 of these, and again they are going to be 3/4 of an inch wide by 6 tall. I don't know how many I've done. Wait, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 7 and 8. Okay, go ahead and grab your scoreboard. Oh, what did I say these were? Yeah, that's right. Wait. 7/8 and 7/8 is 1 3/4. 4 1/4 is 6. That's right. Okay. So what you're going to end up doing now is you're going to place your strip in the top of your scoreboard with the 6-inch length there, and at 7/8 from either side you're going to be scoring. So if you would like, just like in the first part what we discussed, you can just score at 7/8 and then rotate your piece. Okay, and score at 7/8. Go ahead and fold and burnish. Doesn't take much with these. You could actually probably just crimp really hard. Okay, so that's going to give you your wraparound. So you're going to do that to all 8 pieces. So 7/8 of an inch, which is 1/8 less than 1 full inch. For those, oops, that might have been dangerously hard. Let me see. Oh, no, that's okay. Well, I'll show you, Teresa. I know that you dislike the really weird. Hold up. I got your back. For those that have issues with the weird like 3/8 and 5/8 and 7/8, I'm going to help out. Okay. So here's your 1 inch mark right there. It says 1 inch. Okay. So there's 3 marks on a typical ruler. Don't quote me on this. Your longest ones, which are your blackest marks here, these long ones, are your 1/2 inch. Okay. They're the longest, they're the darkest, and they're your 1/2 inch mark. So from 0 to 1 inch, your 1/2 inch is that one. Okay. Your next marks are going to be the next shortest, which are these ones, that one and that one. And those are all 1/4 inch marks. So here's a 1/4 inch, here's a 1/2 inch, here's your 3/4. So there's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. That's how you count it. Okay, so there's that mark, that mark. Your 1/2 inch counts when you're speaking in quarters, and then that mark. Okay, so your next shortest marks are your 1/8 inch marks. In 1 full inch, you will have 8 sections, and they're these little sections right there. So they're your next longest mark. Okay, which is right. I need a marker right there. Okay, so you have 1, 2. So there's 2 1/8 inch sections in that first quarter. Okay, here's your 3/8, and there's your 1/2. So in your first 1/2 of an inch, you have 4 8s. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Same with the last 1/2. Here's your 5th 8th, your 6th 8th, and your 7th 8th. Okay, right there, right before your 1 inch mark. Now, if you want to get all kinds of crazy, the next smallest mark, which are these ones, are your 1/16 of an inch. Okay, and so when you write a 1/16, it's 1/16, which tells you that there are 16 little tiny 1/16 of an inch sections within 1 inch. That's what that's telling you. That's what 1/4 says. So when you write 1/4 and it's 1/4, the 4 is telling you how many sections are within this 1 inch. Okay, so if we were doing a quarter, there's 1 section right there, 2, 3, and 4. 1/2. When you write a 1/2, it's 1/2. So the 2 is telling you that there's 2 1/2 inch sections within a 1 inch. This 1/2 and this 1/2. So that's what that bottom number is telling you. Okay? So hopefully that helps. But within 1 inch, your 7th 8th is that line, oops, right here. Okay. Hopefully that helps for those watching the videos. That's about all I know. I mean, you can get crazy and go 30 seconds of an inch too. So when you do 1 30 seconds, you would know within that 1 inch, there are 32 sections within that 1 inch. So back to this, we're going to be scoring at 7/8 of an inch. And if you have this same scoreboard, here's your inch mark right here. It's the very next divot right here. Right before your 1 inch mark is your 7/8 of an inch. So that was probably even clearer. Small little lesson. So there's those ones. My husband has got that heat cranked. It was funny last night because I was jelly plating and it was so hot in here, and I had my hair dryer because it has the cool setting. I was using it for my jelly plate. I just turned it on and I was fanning myself with my blow dryer. So there's 4. 5. Oops. 6. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to make me blush. You should see the chat for those watching the recording. But thank you. I appreciate it, Heather. Okay, so now that those are all scored, we're going to go ahead and crease your score lines. Oh, where did my template piece go? So if anybody has any questions, feel free to put it in chat. Put it in caps for me so I can catch it. Otherwise, I'm just looking up and kind of glancing at the chat. Get this. This is, honestly, putting these on is the longest part of this whole book. And it's not even that hard. It's just, it just takes a hot second because you're working with brads and whatnot. So now, if you're doing this, I hope maybe you have just a little bit of double-sided sticky tape. It would be helpful if you did for this next part, because I don't know what glue would do on plastic. Well, it doesn't. I guess it's not really going on plastic. It's going on cardboard. So I guess never mind. But what I'm going to do is take my tape, and on these little flaps here, I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of tape, because once we wrap them around, it gets adhered down. You don't have to cover the whole thing. It's completely up to you. But just a little piece of tape, because this, you just want to make sure so it holds it down. We'll also be putting tape here in the middle, but I need to explain that step as well. When you're doing this, it's going to be really important to make sure that you keep your spine side and your album side where you know them. Okay, so and in order to do that, what I would do, and if you're using glue, this is where it's going to be a little bit different, because these are going to, you're going to be taking your piece here and literally wrapping it around like so, and adhering your brads. Your tape's going to get removed here and in here, but that doesn't get removed till last. I mean, there's a whole bunch of steps, okay? So but it's really important after we've punched the holes to know what side is your spine side and which side is not. So I'm going to go ahead and to denote my spine side, I'm going to put a piece of tape here, right in the open cardstock area of it. Nobody's ever going to see it. It gets put behind a hinge, and we need it there anyways to glue it down to the hinge. Okay. So just so we know that this is spine side where our tape is, okay? And what I mean by spine side is the side that's closest to the album. So here's my spine side. So my tape is down here, okay? So you're going to put it on your little hinges and then a little bit on the spine side. Or a little bit in the middle here that signifies where your spine is. You don't have to put a lot. That. Okay, let me put some more on these. This is the part, like I said, this is the part that takes the longest, so. I'm just putting tape on these little flaps here. Oh, coffee sounds so good. I should have got coffee before I started recording. Dang it. I think that's what I was going to do, and then I didn't. Oh, coffee. Someone bring me coffee. Oh. I'm getting so weak. I have no coffee. Oh my gosh. I can't even tear the things. Oh, thank you. So nice of you to bring me coffee. I know I might be like, if you're watching this recording, you might have to fast forward here in a few minutes. Okay, so we have all of our pieces that have got our hinge piece tape here, our spine side tape right here, and another hinge piece there, okay? So what you're going to end up doing is taking your template that you used earlier, and it's important to keep that template, then all your stuff's going to line up. And you're going to line it up on this hinge with your flaps folded over, okay? So they're folded over just like this. And again, you're going to draw your circles, okay? They don't deliver. I would know this. So you're just going to draw your circles on all of these, just like that. And remember, we had written spine on our template, and then we also have the spine piece here. So you can really tell, because these holes are not dead center. So you need to make sure that you're lining stuff up and you're using your template according to the piece you're doing as well. So if you're doing this along, go ahead and do that. I'm going to run and grab a piece of coffee. So a piece of coffee. If you're watching the recording, just fast forward until you see movement on the table. I'll go fast, I promise. Oh, my legs. Okay, I'm back from the doorway. I'm using my Wonder Woman cup for those that would like to know. Dan makes really good lattes. Dan is Carol's husband. When I was there, I think he made me a couple, actually. With a little piece of peppermint. You could totally put one of your candy canes in there. Oh, that would be so yummy. Okay, so I'm going to continue with using my template and drawing on my circles, and then I'm going to punch them out with my punch that I used to do that one. Okay, so that is the plan. Okay. So for Thanksgiving this year, my husband and I are staying home. This is probably the first holiday in many years that we've actually just stayed home. And it was going to be just the two of us, because I figured Anna was going to be with her mom, and Connor has a girlfriend, and you know how that is. You always go to the girl's parents' house and whatnot. So, and that's what they are doing. So, but I guess Anna's going to come here. So super excited. She might bring her little fella. They're dating. I think this is her first high school boyfriend. She's never really been into the whole boyfriend and titles thing. So, oop. Okay. So now our holes are drawn, and they get covered by the brads, just so everybody knows. I'm going to go ahead and punch them. Okay. So I know that this is going to be a long show, so thanks for those hanging out with me. because if we had done last Tuesday, we might have only just done one and finished up tonight. But I want to make sure that you guys can start, because you guys will probably in the month of December, which is next week, start getting your recipes in the mail for those of you guys that are participating in the swap. I think we have 3 full groups of 9, so that was a good turnout, including myself and I believe Carol. And if you can't see me on screens, because I'm half blind. I have to pull it to my face to see it. Or I could put on my glasses, but again, they're for reading and up close. I probably actually should put these on. My eyes are kind of getting blurry and tired. There's that. Okay, so if I need to buy a puncher, which size would be the best to buy? Honestly, it's going to be up to you. I have this Fiskars. If you have a Crocodile, you'll have an 1/8 inch punch, and that's kind of what you're looking for, is an 1/8 inch punch. Nothing more than 1/4 inch, because you don't want to have a hole bigger than what your actual hole for your, here it is. And I believe that these holes are 1/4 inch. Yeah, in circumference, they're 1/4 inch. So nothing bigger than 1/4 inch. And I'm going smaller just so it holds better. Okay, so when you're putting in your pages, you're going to want to make sure that, one, the tops are at the top. Okay. And 2, when you're doing these, because these are going to go behind each flange. That's what I call these, just like this. So what you can also do is run a piece of tape here on this front part. So if you're looking at this, you're going to be able to see your Simple Stories silver embossing right here on the front. Okay, it's going to be on the front portion. Not that my camera is going to allow you to see it, but you can put a piece of tape You don't need a big one. And this is where I'm saying tape comes in handy. Okay. And you can line up your hole and your seam and everything in advance, which takes a little bit of the frustration of getting the brads through out of it. Okay. So as you can see here, it's not all the way to the actual, let me get closer here. Okay. So here's the first phalange. Okay. It's not all the way down to your score mark. Doesn't need to be, because your stitching seam right here has to be above your cardstock. That first stitch seam. Okay. And then your holes are lined up. So you're going to want to do that for all of these. Just put your plastic on. It's just going to make it easier. Okay. So go ahead and do that if you're following along. I'm going to get all of my sheets. You should have 8. Remember your Simple Story embossing, you're going to be able to see it right here on top. That's where you're going to put your tape. You don't need a big piece. It's just a piece that's going to hold it while you're, tinkering around with everything else. And so if you see that Simple Stories and the embossing's on the front, you'll automatically know that this is your top. Okay. If it's like this and it looks backwards, your opening is at the bottom. So you'll need to read it. If you can read it and it's right here on your left side as you're holding it, you have it the right direction. Yeah, T, I have the big bite. Where is that at? I'll show you. I don't know where it's at, though. The big bite has 3/16 of an inch and 1/8 inch, which are good to have because your typical just school puncher, which I don't know what I did with mine. I have one. Oh, okay. So your typical school one, you know, hole puncher is 1/4 of an inch. Okay. But this one, your big bite, is the one where you can actually do your brads with, or not your brads, your eyelets. You can set eyelets with it, and it has got your 1/8 punch and your 3/16 inch punch. So between these two items, you've got all the sizes that you would typically need. So these albums are going to be super cute to make just for anything. You could do this if you're, like I say, you're not into doing the recipes. You could do the same thing, and you can get all the chipboard, and I don't know if they have extra sheet ones in stock right at this second or what. But you can get all of that at Scrappa. And you could do one for like your baby's first year or your grandson's first year, you know, or the first 4 years of his life, or one for his first birthday, one for when you were pregnant, and then 2 for his first year. You know, it kind of chronicles his first life, his first year of life, or whatever the case may be. Where's my template? Because I forgot one of these. So there's all kinds of things you can do. You can make you could make these your December dailies in a way, and just do some of your favorite, maybe these are just Christmas morning albums. So you can add things into them. It's completely up to you what you do with them if you're not into the recipes. They've got great paper and great chipboard. They've got all the tape. Everything you would need to make these, they've got it at Scrap-a-Dab-a-Doo. And the good thing is it's all on sale. It's all on sale. So Carol is saying that they bought out their suppliers, so they ordered them directly from Simple Stories. How funny. But you can literally make this into anything you want. These are great gifts. Because seriously, once you get the hang of it, it does go by faster. It seems like it's taking forever for me, but I'm also teaching it. So there was explanation and all that stuff. But by the end of these 4 hours, you will have an album. That's good. Well, it'll punch the hole that you need for the brads. That's for sure. And that's all you really need. Well, that's the best thing about Scrap-a-Dab-a-Doo, Teresa, is if you shop there a lot, like most of us do, especially since there's a fantastic sale, they'll let you know if there's room in your box most of the time. So it's definitely personal, one-on-one. Okay, am I missing a sleeve? What's going on here? Can I not count? Maybe I can't count. Oh, here it is. Okay. And one more. And then I'm going to put some tape on it. And this is a good chance where you can look at your pages and see if you've got the clear plastic on there correctly, by the way. Which this one's not. And they're really easy to pull off even with the score tape, or even to adjust it down just by giving it a little tug. That one was kind of really crooked for some reason. So is this one. And it's just probably because I'm looking at it differently as I'm putting them on. So you can just usually just tug it. There we go. Perfect. Teresa ordered jar thingies. I'm just going to flip it this way so I can see. Okay, so all your pages are on there now, and from here on out it's just monotonous putting in brads. So you're going to grab your brads that you got sent. You should have 16 brads because you have 8 pages and they're super page. I know the American Crafts Elements medium brads in silver. We thought silver was quite neutral. We know that a lot of people don't like gold, Teresa. And so what you're going to go ahead and do is start with your first page, your first hole, and you're going to remove the flap tape, the tape on that first top flap, You're wrapping it around your hinge is what you're essentially doing. And you want to make sure your holes relatively line up. They get covered anyways, so you're going to just stick that first brad in there. Okay. Press it down. Okay, so that's what that looks like. You've got your brad in there. I'm going to turn autofocus back on. Hopefully it doesn't wig out. So there's that first. Okay. And what I do is I always make sure that this bottom one will wrap around. Okay. And then what you're going to do is remove your tape off of this bottom hinge. Make sure you have a hole that you can go through. And this is where it gets kind of annoying, but you need to do it. You're going to have to push your brad through, and then I use my pokey tool and I split right down the middle of the brad. I'm going to try and show you if it will let me. Okay, I don't know if you guys can kind of see that brad in there. It's got its legs all, and you're going to flatten that out. So use your pokey tool, or you can get your finger in there, whatever one you want to use. You can even use your I jacked it up. Okay, this doesn't usually happen. Oops. To back this one out. Typically it's fine. I don't know why that did that. You want to make sure that the brad arms are not showing. And then what you're going to do is remove that piece of tape that you put down in here. Okay. So the brads are both laying flat. I removed that piece of tape, and now I'm just going to adhere it. So it keeps everything nice and tight. Okay. So here's your front, and here's the back, and there's the only thing that there's a gap in is right here at the very top. And I did this for a reason, because you can also take and tuck in little tags, other specific little notes, whatever is going on with this recipe or whatever you're putting there, you can just tuck it right in. You have a good 1/4 of an inch nice tuck there. You can create a tag, whatever you want to do. Use your extra cardstock, and then you can just layer a tag right over it. Also, I want to mention, Carol, you have those, I don't know if they still have these in stock. I could be speaking out of turn. You have the photo flip pockets? The ones with the adhesive on it that we talked about? I'm hoping. They had these, and I have some left over from them. You can also take these photo flip pockets right here. They come, I'm not sure what package they actually have and which ones they have. I think they have the mixed packet that's got a mixed quantity in them. They come with some adhesive on them. and so you can remove your adhesive, and you can also now stick this photo pocket to the side here. You can do it underneath if you don't want that showing, but if you do it to the side right here, you could put a nice decorative strip over it. You won't see this white piece. It is clear once you remove it. There's just the adhesive. So keep this in mind when you're doing this, and you go to adhere this back piece down, because you can also adhere another flip pocket, and this cardstock's here just so you can see, and put in a picture. Okay, so you can do this multiple ways. There's a lot of ways you can get a really good album out of this by just either tucking into the side pockets in the back. So this is technically the front, and let me put this is our recipe card that comes with the kit. Okay, so I'm going to set that in there just so you guys have a frame of reference, okay? And then we would have pattern paper here on the back. And so you can either create a tag and tuck it, or you can invest in these clear pockets and add these into this wraparound band as well. And just tuck them in there, remove the adhesive, and now you have an additional picture pocket for that one page, okay? Yes, and a photo of the finished recipe would be fabulous, Carol. So you can have the recipe on the front, and you would write the continuation of the directions on the back of your recipe card. Then you could put your piece of patterned paper in there, and you could do, or you could continue writing on that. You could put a photo here, and then you can also do it like a second photo flip, because on the back and the front of this additional pocket, you can put two photos. One here, one here, one here, and then you would have your recipe. So essentially you can actually get a lot of photos in for just the little page that it is. Okay. And if you don't mind and you maybe want to put a piece of decorative, you can also adhere it on this side and just adhere it down so it's like this. It's completely up to you. But this is already here, so why not? Okay. So I just wanted to throw that out there. They do have these snap page available in store. These are 4x6, and if it's the mixed pocket, which I believe is what it is that they have, 4 of each. Yep, the 4x6, 4x4, and the 3x4. So you could essentially take another 4x6 and add it in with this 4x6 if you wanted. You could just adhere it to, well, now I don't have one of the pages, but these Simple Stories pages here. Oh, we have the back side. So you could adhere it right over and then just punch the holes and just put it in if you want. It seems to be just slightly bigger, but it's not a big deal. I think you could fit it just fine if you wanted to get 2 of these per thing. Otherwise, you could, I should just do that right now. In this process, take and adhere down. Actually, it would have to go on this. It would have to go on your cardstock, and you could just eyeball it. And it would go just like this, right over. So now you have both of the pages, the shorter one and then the longer one. Okay. Well, I'm not getting that off there, so I guess I'll be putting these on all the pages, which is totally fine. Or I can just do every other. We'll do every other because the first one doesn't have one, so I'll do every other. So I'm going to continue on with putting our pages on, or the wraparound bands. That's what they are. So this is the top one. And you're going to have to put it on the cardstock if you're going to use those plastic ones. They need to go on the cardstock. Okay. Remove the tape. This one's not lining up very well. The hardest part is getting my fingers in there to separate that brad. I swear to goodness. And then getting that piece of tape off. That's why it's important to burnish your tape. In between the phalanges. And I'll cut some cardstock for the inside of that one. Okay. Where's my recipe cards? And I don't have another set of recipe cards, so I'm going to just remove some from this in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm just going to put them in the pockets so I have some good strength as I'm working with these. The most spastic way to put these in. Jeez, Ash. Again, you can ink the edges if you want. So I'm just going to continue wrapping. This next one won't have the additional pocket. And if your holes don't line up perfectly, it's fine. As long as you can get a brad through that hole, or whatever you see is fine. Oops. And let me get that brad through there. Let's remove that tape. Okay, let's do this next one. We're getting there, you guys. Literally, we just have 4 left, and it's all uphill from there. It goes really fast. Well, it depends on how much decorating you want to do, but I already know where my stickers are going. I have a pocket that I want to show you guys how to make for the back inside cover. That goes really fast. I have the measurements and the scores for that, so thanks for hanging out with me. Hi, Jeannie. It's not too bad. We're at, what, 2.5 hours? That's not bad at all. We have it all built and everything. We're just really putting on the very finishing touches to embellish it. And I forgot to pull the tape. And I cut everything here with you guys, so that's not bad at all. Not bad, not bad. This is an adorable album. So if you guys do yours, or you make it into something else, or whatever the case may be, please post it on Scarpet Avadoo. We would all love to see it. Tag me in it. Post it there. If it's a gift, of course, you can do it after the holidays. After it's no longer a gift. I mean, it's always a gift, but after it's no longer a secret, I should say. Okay, so front one doesn't, doesn't, doesn't. Okay, does. Bye, Beverly. Beverly won the dilutions from my show the other week. Those are going to be going to her here shortly. Oh, that's awesome, Carol. Or Renee. We have the other Carol in the house as well. So. We just have 2 more of these to go. And then we can embellish it and make that pocket. Now, your embellishing is going to be up to you. I will be putting on some of the stickers live with you guys. But really, you can do it however you like. I mean, this is your album. While I was making the pocket for class, I decided that I had a new page kind of layout that I wanted to try. So I'm super excited about that. Almost done, guys. Almost. But you can see the importance. Oops. See? You can see the importance of prepping and knowing where your spine side is and whatnot, and having the tape and all of that jazz on there. Just makes it go a lot easier. There we go. One more. This one needs one of these on it. Hi, I found you, Dee Dee. You have found us. It's funny. I do want to know who that is. Dee Dee knows, but alright, let's put on this last set of brads. Like I said, the brads are the longest part. I just love this album because it is extremely fast, super cute, and it has an extremely, ouch, low profile. I mean, as you can see, doesn't get any better than that, folks. Okay, let me get this brad in here. Our last brad. Let's pull our tape from down in there on the inside. And then in here down. Okay. We've got our pages. They're all evenly in there and totally cute and just absolutely love it. Okay, so I'm going to just, to save time, I'm going to go ahead and pull out the cardstock that I've got in here. And for these ones I used the remaining stripe and solid, just so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me cut it. But it's literally the same size as your recipe card. And so we'll just pop them into this one and we'll do some embellishing, and then I'm going to show you how to make this back envelope, and that will be it for us. Okay, and I just rotated. I did the green stripe. Did I start off? Oh, I hope I started off with green stripe. I'm pretty sure I did. Yep. And then I put the red. And now that I have thrown in the addition of these additional little pockets, which you can purchase separately. They don't come in the kit, but it's an idea if you want some more real estate in your album is to adhere these additional little pockets. So we'll cut some paper up to put in these so you can see. So I'm just rotating the stripe with the solid red. And when I did my stickers, I kind of, if it was a solid red sheet, I tried to make it not so solid red of a sticker. And all the stickers went on the outside, again, so you can maximize your space on the cards for whatever you're putting on them. Okay. Let's do a stripe. And a red one. Okay. And now if you have the little teeny tiny printer like I do, I have the LG Photo Pocket printer. Let's see here. Sideways picture. Here we go. Here's my breakfast with my dad the other day. Because yes, I did take a picture of my breakfast. Let's see here. I think that this black with the stars or whatever, because there's black in this album in the very back, would be extremely cute. Let's do 3 by 4. And you could round the corners, do what you like with it. I'm just going to, and you could even double mat it, or you could just, you know, put it down here and then some of the stickers above it. Oops. Well, these are double-sided, so you could put a picture on both sides, essentially. And I will put this one on the other side, so you guys can see it better. I would have adhered it to the card, but I don't want to adhere it to the card. So this is not where it's going. This is actually going in my picture decks. But, you know, as you can see, it's just an additional little pocket that creates interest. You can keep the back side for journaling and the front side for the photo, or as you're looking at it, this would be the front side, so this would be the back side for journaling, however you want to do it. But, so there's that option. And so you have plenty of cardstock that if you decide to incorporate these, you'll have plenty to use with these additional pockets. Okay, so let's grab are, and I did all of the stickers on the back side where we have the cardstock. So for this one, I put this little Santa here with a star above him and one next to him. Okay. And on the back of the next page, I did these dangly bells. Here, I did a long one. There. And then I did the short one next to it. And now with the incorporation of this little flip pocket, we could do one on here. Otherwise, if you're not doing the flip pocket, the other one went over here on this side. But because I'm doing the flip pocket, I'm going to put it right there. That way when you flip it, it now disappears. Okay. So on this next one, I put the "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" banner. And you, again, can put these anywhere you like. It's your album. But this is where I'm putting it. And so for those that would like to do it just like this, they can. Okay. The next one, I put the snowman, and I put him on this side, but because we have a flip pocket there, I'm going to put him, well, I might still put him on that side. He'll be like playing peekaboo because he's looking, the snowman is looking that way. That's why he went on this side. So when I'm doing my embellishing, even that takes play. Okay, so watch what, like especially things that have eyeballs. So I put him on this side. That way he would be looking at whatever was showing here, not looking off the page. That looks weird. So that's why he went over on this side. So that's where he's going to go. Okay, and there'll be a mat there, but he'll play, it's like peekaboo with the snowman. Okay, and on the next one, it was the Christmas trees that said "Deck the Halls." And they went down in this little corner. And the next one are, yikes. Oh, the mittens. I couldn't see it. The hanging mittens. And again, if you didn't want to put this one on the big one and you wanted to incorporate something on this little one, you could do right across here on the little one, but I'm going to go ahead and put it on the big one. And I'm just going to go side to side, or top to side, I should say. Right up the top and to the side. Okay. And then our next one, I did the stacked presents. On this left side, and then there are some stars falling down from above it, just kind of stacked stars. Put one there. Okay. And then for our last page, I put December 25th, because if you use this at a December daily of any kind, usually it's the last picture. Okay, so those are the stickers that I have put on the actual pages. Now, right here, on these ones, I've used these little fun wordplay ones and stuck them on there. This front one, however, did get the Mrs. Claus Cooking Co., which is super funny because this is a recipe swap album. And so I just put it right here in the middle, just like that. Okay. So let's do the next one. This one says, "Oh, come, let us adore him." And I just literally, if you need to, use your tweezers so you can line up. Side to side and right through the middle. Just like that. The next one was Unwrap the Seasons. Or Unwrap the Season, I should say. And it goes again right in the middle. Use your tweezers so you can get it lined up. And then press it down. And the next one was Fun and Frosty. And you can stick these wherever you like. It depends on maybe the recipe you get, because this would be, if someone sends you like a drink recipe, like a chocolate recipe, that would be a super cute one to stick on that page. Okay, and the next one was Dear Santa. Okay, and then we've got Believe. Be Merry. And then on this last one, I just stuck some of the hearts because I didn't have any more words. So I just stuck 4 of the hearts. Like that. Okay. So as far as the pages go, aside from the little 3x4 pockets, these page parts are embellished. Super easy, super quick, and of course I'm going to put 3x4s in here, and I'll probably go through and use more of the stickers. This Noel would be super cute going across one of these 3x4 pages. It just would. So let's go ahead. I want to show you guys quickly how to make this back envelope that's in the back of this one right here, and we'll put the tab on and the stickers. Okay, so for this you're going to need, you're going to need your piece that has the black stars on it and the big white stripes, if you're using the same one. Otherwise, use whichever one you like. And where did I write it? Okay. We are going to need to cut it to 8.5 wide. I can't read my, by 8 and 8 1/8. So the first 1/8 section tall. So let's cut our width. Actually, this is going to be our width. Eight and a half wide. 8 1/8 tall. Okay, and set these pieces aside. These are actually really cute to make. No, this one won't work. Don't mind my self here. Wait. Sorry. I had the cutter out. I couldn't resist. Just couldn't resist. It's adorable with the little stripe pocket there. Stinking adorable. I just want to at least put something in there. Too cute. Okay. There. Perfect. Oh, just adorable. Okay. So now that we've got our piece of paper cut, okay, so we're going to place it with our 8 1/8 width going across the top, the side that's 8 1/8. And you're going to score it 2 1/2 and 6 1/2. So let's go ahead and score it 2 1/2 and 6 1/2. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. You're going to go ahead and rotate one time. Okay, so here's our 8 1/8 side that we just had. We're going to rotate that side over here to this side. So now you'll see 8 1/2 across the top. And you're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 7 1/8. Oh, wait. Oh, I totally cut that wrong. Oh, you guys forget that. God, I'm such a spaz. I don't know if I'm going to have the black paper now because I cut that one up. Hold on. Okay, well. Poop Magoo. Give me a second. I scored that wrong. Rewind. Didn't have wide. My 8 1/8 tall. Put the 8 1/2 side at the top to get your first score lines. Golly. Well, it's bound to mess up somewhere. And score it 2 1/2 and 6 1/2. Sorry, you guys. For those writing it down, sorry. For those watching the video, I caught it quick enough, but now you're going to rotate, and at the top you should have your 8 1/8 mark. I just started it backwards and thus scored it backwards. Score it 1/2 inch and 7 1/8. Okay. Ooh. So just for the purposes, oh gosh, hopefully. So now you're going to have 4 boxes on the corners. There's one here, one here, one here, and one here. You need to cut those out. Okay, they're in between score marks, so cut them out. Okay. So once you cut those out, you should have something that looks like this. Now these, when it's folded, it looks like this. But it makes it hard because these line up to fold these over, the tops and the bottoms. So what you kind of do is taper them. And what I mean is you start in about 1/8 of an inch and you just cut angular to the corner. Okay? Because this is going to allow you, see, we're just cutting a little bit off, but angular to the corner where these meet. Okay? And you do that on all 4 sides. Again, cutting angular to the corner. And you're not going to be able to tell because it gets covered, but it's going to allow you to fold these top and bottoms over without having an issue. Again, cutting angular to the corner. There's not all this bulk in the way. And angular to the corner. Okay. So now you've got something that looks like this. And what I like to do is have rounded corners. So on the top, I'm going to take my 1/2 inch rounding tool and round my corners. This is the top where the envelope slides in. And on the bottom, I'm going to use my 1/4 inch. Okay. And I'm going to take and put some adhesive on both edges of right here. Actually, where's my 1/4 inch? Right here. And also right here on the black part. I'm going to remove both pieces of tape and press down. Okay, so now I've got a pocket. And then I'm going to take and put some tape here at the bottom. And we're going to fold it up. Just like so. Okay. Now we have an envelope. Okay. What I'm also going to do is take my 1/8 of an inch, because when I put this down, I don't like gluing everything down always. I think that it's nice to have a few hidey holes, but I also left it so you can put a tag behind it. It's very, you would have to have it sticking out, that way you could pull it out, you know, at least that far, and then you could just pull it. Okay, this would be good to put a tab on or whatever, but make it the full length. And then you can just pull it out. So it's a good place to stick another little hidey hole. That's what I like to call them. Okay. And I'm going to grab the Cheer in Love tabs from the collection. And I'm going to stick them on here. Just like so. And I'm going to back this one with this one. Just like so. So now we have a cute little tab on there and it says Cheer. And on this side it says Love. Okay. I'm going to take, so this back side where there is no seam, I'm going to take and on the tops and bottoms, and so right here, and you could use your wet glue. I find mine spreads and I don't like that, so you have a more chance of a tag stickage going on with tape, but I don't care. I'll cut my tag to where it fits right. Just put some tape around the edges and burnish. Okay. And we're going to just line it up. And stick it down, just like so. Okay. And now you can use your scraps to make a tag for your pocket. Again, it's solid. Oh, by the way, on that tag I put the little truck because he's just so cute. Okay, so this was a scrap. I used literally my scraps, and it goes right in there. Okay, and again, you can make one for the back. All these little hidey holes. I used one of the border pieces right here. As embellishment. Okay. And it just goes from here all the way up to the top. Oh, don't stick, don't stick. There we go. Right up to the top like so. The little Christmas bulbs. Okay. And then you can put something on here if you want. It's completely up to you. God, I just love those little half pictures. So again, you can get these at Scrap-a-Dub-a-Doo. They've got the packs. And then on the front, I took a piece of my scrap cardstock and the rest of those bulbs. So let's see, I cut a piece here that measured 7 1/8 long by 1 1/4 inches. 1 1/4 inches. And again, you're going to want to ink this if you're inking, just so it matches, but I'm not inking. And then I'm going to take this border strip here, pull it off, center it, stick it down. Martha, where are you, Martha? Oh my goodness, where is Martha? Where's my Martha? Oh, there it is. My handy dandy Martha. Okay. I'm going to put the remaining border piece. Oh, we forgot to put the believe on the front too. And the other thing. Oh, we're doing good. An album in under 4 hours from start to finish with no prep. Boom. So again, I'm going to use my tape and go around the bottom and the sides. So we're going to create a pocket. Okay. So you could easily follow along with this in one day and get a very nice gift done. And then I just line it up with the bottom of my green cardstock and the edges and press it down. Okay. Now I'm going to take the rest of our bulb stickers here and I'm going to drape it across this way and cut And now you've got a fancy little pocket for your scraps to make some more tags for your memories in. Just go ahead and put them right in there. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and do our front. Now our front is going to get the word believe sticker from your sticker sheet. And you need to keep your fronts pretty low profile because they're going in an album. Now, I did use some foam tape to pop up the Peace, Love, Joy banner that goes underneath it. There's also, you could do the Noel if you like. That would be another good option, would be the word Noel. So I'm just going to go ahead and, now when I'm lining up, this is a thing. I'm not lining up for the whole width of this. I'm lining up from the edge of the red to the edge of the red. Because if I lined up for the center of this whole front cover, this believe would look off. Okay, so you're lining up from where you start your red and white page to where it ends, not any of your spine coverage, because it, like I said, it does look off. So if I centered it like right there, it looks off to me. So I like to line up there to there, and preferably not crooked. So I'm just gonna, and you could do this with your tweezers, just kind of hover it above till you see if you like it, and I do like it. It looks good. Okay, and now like on the front of this one, there is the Peace, Love, Joy, and it is a sticker, so I did back it on some of the spare cardstock that you have, and then I just cut it out. Just so one, it makes it stronger, but two, because it is sticky on the back. And then I popped it up with foam tape. But during this, making the pocket today to get the measurements, because I lost my measurement sheet, I came up with a new way to do an album, I think, that I'm going to like, and I'm going to do that too. So you're going to want to ink this, if inking is what you're doing. So these albums are going to be great because they are so quick. In a season where we don't have a lot of time, they are quite fast. Got some foam tape. I'm going to place it right below my believe. And again, you can use your tweezers to get this centered and straight. Okay, so it says believe, peace, love, joy. Okay, and that is it. We have built our album from start to finish. We have built this album. We even added in a few extra little flippy pages. Those are not in the kits, but like I said, you can find them at Scrap-A-Dab-A-Doo. So, and you can add all the little tags that you would like, whatever else you would like, add it in. And it's not super bulky, so you're going to be able to bulk this up, okay? And that's why the front cover can have this little dimension here, because it's not super bulky. Okay. So that is this album. That's our first album of 4. I now have 2, but I jacked this one up as I dropped it, and it totally wrecked the side. So these go super quick. These would make additional super gifts for Additional super gifts. Super additional gifts. See, that doesn't even sound right either. Really cute gifts for the holiday season. So you can take and use this tutorial in many other different aspects to make a cute little album for someone's first year. Maybe this is going to the grandparents and you are going to send your 8 to 16 best photos with a whole bunch of little notes and stuff. So this will go up on YouTube. Carol's going to move this video, both of them, up to YouTube in the morning. Additionally, I'm going to start on the album where we use the same thing. We make the pockets that we did for the back. Okay, but these are our pages, and so our hinge is going to slide into the bottom of these pockets here once they're adhered together, and so we'll have this pocket. We can mat this, and then on the back, this part that we would flip over is now going to be a hinge for another page or something smaller or along those lines. So hopefully this album will go to fruition here soon. But I am so thankful that you guys were here to hang out with us and make this album. We made an album in what, like 3.5 hours, something like that. So that's not too bad. Start to finish, fully decorated, 3.5 hours. All of the 4 albums in these in this series will be the same concept. So you can actually even keep your template for your holes when we did all the punching. Set that aside and keep it for, in 3 months we'll do our next one. So I broadcast on my channels usually on Sundays. I am back to that schedule. So Sundays on my channel at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sometimes I'm not even teaching. We're just hanging out and arting. I've been really doing a lot of the paints and the arts, but I really love mini albums. That's where I started. So I'm getting to know the painting and having a ton of fun with that. So we're usually just listening to music on my channel. If you can hear music on my channel, you'll know I'm not recording. But you can always ask and I can record. So, but thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. It's turned out great. So visit scrapadabadoo.com. They've got all of your supplies and all of your goodies for this album. The store's completely on sale. The Delusions paints are like 3 something. I can't remember. I'm just blown away by the fact that they're 3 something because they're 8 something on Amazon. So I will see you guys. I don't know when I'll be back. I do know that I'll be back in a couple months to do the next series for this album. I don't know if I'll be back in between for Scrapadabadoo. We'll see. I'm on my channel at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, actually. So thanks for watching the part 2 and the conclusion to the Recipe Swap album